Hello all! Tonight I'm going to be starting my playthrough of Alone Against the Dark, Defying the Triumph of the Ice. This is a solo adventure for the Call of Cthulhu 7th edition game system, and I'm just really excited to get started, so let's just dive in here. Alright, so I've done a little bit of prep already to get ready to play this game, so I've already set up my first investigator, who is Professor Gruenwald. So let me show you the character sheet real quick. So Professor Gruenwald is a professor at Miskatonic University in Arkham, Massachusetts. And so the way the module works is they give you sort of a base investigator, and then it's up to you to add extra skill points to the stuff that you're interested in. So the way that I built the professor is his backstory is that he was born in Germany, but he immigrated to America in his teenage years, and he actually was a student at Arkham University, and that was kind of always his dream, was to go to an American university. He was always wrapped up in that university culture, and at the time when he was a student, he was actually quite a prolific athlete. He was on the track team, and so I've sort of weighted a lot of his skills in that regard. And he was also, kind of a social guy and a bit of a charmer as a student as well. And so he loved the university life so much that he just did whatever he could after finishing to stay there. And so he ended up becoming a language professor, and he primarily teaches German, which is his home language. But yeah, he's a bit of a charmer. He's got some pretty solid skills around people skills. And on top of that, he also has quite good language skills. He's also personally interested in cryptography, so I gave him a little bit in that. And on top of that, he of course is a excellent researcher, so his library use is very high. You can see here kind of just driving that home. His seat of learning with Arkham University is his meaningful location. His treasured possession is his reading glasses. So he's a pretty strong dude. I mean, he still has a strength of 70 because I think, like, even though his health has sort of gone downhill as he's gotten older and spent a lot of time behind his desk as a professor, he still has those genetics that keep him as a bit of an athlete. So I think the last thing I need to do here is just roll luck for him. So I'm just going to do that right now. So I'm rolling 3d6 and I'm going to multiply that by 5. All right, so I rolled, I didn't do too well. So I rolled a 5, a 1, and a 1. So I rolled a 7. And 7 times 5. I'll just do this on the calculator so that everybody can see it. My starting luck is going to be 35, which is not great, but it is what it is. I've got a little scratch pad open here too in case I need it. Okay, so yeah, now that I've introduced you to my character, let's go ahead and jump in. So we're going to start at entry number 13. Which is on page 11, and thankfully this PDF has hyperlinks. Okay, so let's start Alone Against the Dark. For you, Professor Louis Gruenwald, this first day of September 1931 has been tiring and uncomfortable. Light mist has covered Arkham for most of the day. You held 2 uninspired undergraduate classes at Miskatonic University, and you met with the new chairman of the literature department, a giddy technocrat. You survey your desk and see that a stack of papers to grade is already formed. You're enjoying your second pipe of the evening and putting off grading papers when the doorbell rings. To your surprise, it's a telegraphic messenger. "It arrived at Kingsport Head Station not more than an hour ago," the boy says. You sign for it and slip a dime into the youngster's hand. "Oh, thank you, sir." You open the envelope and scan the contents. Handout 1, which is right here. Handout number 1. All right, the Worldwide Telegraph. The globe in 7 minutes. This is from Athens, Greece, and it was sent on September 1st, 1931. And so just to recall, it is... Oh yeah, so it's from today. Via Kingsport. In jail for antiquity theft. Stop. Need help. Stop. Can you come? Stop. Urgent. Stop. See Corporal Ilionas, Athens Bureau of Investigation. And it's from someone named Gliere. Okay. Interesting. My goodness, you think. Imagine. Doty old Gliere in prison. You recall that he had gone to Greece to work on his book concerning primitive myths. What has he gotten himself into? Should you wire money? You recall all the amusing discussions you've had with him, and a sudden insight lets you understand that Tibor Gliere had no close friends except for you. Should you go to help him? You suppose the university will grant you leave, but do you want to go? With uncommon speed, you decide to go to Athens to help Gliere. You write him a wire and another to Ernest Holt, the wealthy New York financier and good friend of yours. If you get into hot water, Holt will help, and so you decide to keep him posted on your progress. You give both telegrams to the waiting messenger along with the necessary funds. What to do now? You'll go to the bank first thing in the morning to get travel funds. As for transatlantic schedules, well, the advertiser surely carries that information. As you pack, you wonder if you should check Glaire's room at Mrs. Harding's boarding house. Maybe you could get a clue about Glaire's activities or a hint about his arrest. Your passport is in order, your clothes and sundries are packed, you'd best turn in. You're going on a little trip. When you awake, it is September 2nd. Go to 102. All right. So it's September 2nd. And that means I don't go to 147. I'm Gruenwald, and so I can go to any Arkham location. All right. So that's what I'll do. And I guess I should go ahead and just keep track of this. So September 1st. Get the telegram and prepare for my journey. And then September 2nd. I'll just keep a little bit of a log of what it is I'm doing here. Just going to do this as a markdown doc. All right. Okay, so I can go to anywhere I want in Arkham. Let's click on this and see the chart. So I can go to the Arkham Advertiser newspaper. I can go to the Arkham Depot, which I guess is the railroad. I can go to the Arkham First National Bank, the General Store, Bee's Diner, Gruenwald's house, so that's my house. I guess that's where I am right now, technically. The Harding house, which I guess is where Gliere lives, the hospital, and then Miskatonic University itself. So I guess probably what I should do first is ask for permission to leave, right? Yeah, so I'll go to Miskatonic University. And yeah, I'll just go see the dean so that I can tell him that I'm leaving and get leave. Right. The dean shakes his head. Out of the question, Gruenwald. I already have that young dolt Perkins covering for Gliere. And now you want to leave? Not a chance, sir. Does the dean leave you no choice? To threaten to resign, go to 186. To forget the whole business and let Gliere fend for himself, go to 574. Well, I don't want to do that. He doesn't have anybody else to help him. So yeah, I'm going to go to 186 and threaten to resign. You heard me. Oh, resign? My dear fellow, I apologize. I should have recognized how serious you were. Go, save poor Gliere's hide. I know you'll do it speedily and judiciously. The university will certainly pay for your round-trip ticket. All right, well, that's what I'm talking about. As you leave, you hear footsteps moving quickly away from the door. When you look out, the hallway's empty. Go to 82 or any Arkham location. All right, well, what's at 82? Oh, that's Miskatonic University. Yeah, maybe I'll go to the history department super quick. It's 122. His eyes narrow when he hears your news. Gliere in jail? And you want to go rescue him? You'd best talk to Dean Wilcox. All right, well, yeah, I've done that already. So let me jump back to where I was. Miskatonic University. I guess that's kind of all I really need to do here. I mean, I don't really know anything about his research yet. You know, the library is my happy place as as Professor Gruenwald. I guess I can just check in really quick for 145. Reach out at Miskatonic's library. Attempt to make a successful library use for spot hidden roll. If you make the library use, go for 25. For spot hidden, go to 70. I guess I could just look quickly for some books. Like maybe I can kind of look around for books on just Greece in general. Maybe like a travel guide or at least try to look up a book that might be adjacent to what Gliere was researching. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make a library use roll. So my library use skill is 80, I believe. Yep. All right. So I'm going to roll my D100 and hopefully I will get above 80. Or below 80. Let's see what happens. Yep. All right, I rolled a 52, so that's a regular success. And that takes me an hour. I'm going to go to 25. Aristotle Milonus, while collecting an undeniably tremendous treasure house of Greek art, has been reluctant to loan or even show some of the National Museum's most interesting treasures. The Carpathos device, for example, has not been displayed for years. Its loan to other museums is, according to Milonus, unthinkable. Great museums of the modern world. Interesting. All right. So yeah, the Carpathos device, that sounds ominous. I'm going to also remember Aristotle Milonus. Maybe that's a place that I could go. I could go check out the National Museum and see if they know anything about my friend Glier. All right, so I'm in Arkham still. Back to 145. All right, I think that's enough time spent at the library. What else should I do? Yeah, I think I'm going to go to the Harding house and just try to check up on Glier. Maybe like I can talk to the landlord or a neighbor or something like that. Open respectable hours. Okay. Well, I spent an hour at the library, and we'll say that I spent like an hour or two before that talking to the dean. So let's go to the Harding house, 113. Mrs. Harding greets you amiably. She is uncertain whether she should show you Glier's room. To try to fast talk her, go to 23. For charm, go to 45. To use persuade, go to 67. To try a bribe, go to 89. All right, so just from context, if they're open respectable hours, I'm guessing she's not going to be a big fan of being fast talked, charmed, or bribed. I'm going to just go for a straight well, let me look at my skills and see what makes sense here. Okay, so let's see what I've got here. 55 for charm. I've got 35 for fast talk. Persuade is 40. So that's kind of my lowest one. Try a bribe, go to 89. Yeah, she's not going to take a bribe. I'm just going to go for, even though it's my lowest skill, I feel like persuade is what I would do here. So I'm going to try and roll under 40. Oh, I rolled a 9. Awesome. So that's a hard success. Fantastic. All right, 67. Her eyes are wary, but she's listening. Make a persuade roll. If successful, go to 150. If failed, go to 45. All right, so I succeeded. I had a hard success on my persuade roll, so I am going to go to 150. All right. You enter and cautiously turn on a light to see a room in proper professorial confusion. Scattered about are books of myths and fables, and there are bundles of clippings from various foreign newspapers. For each hour you spend here, you can attempt one roll for one of the following skills. Each skill may be tried once daily. Okay. So I don't have any Cthulhu Mythos skill. My luck is pretty dang low. I guess I could go for a spot hidden maybe. Or just straight up int. Let me do int first. So I'll spend 2 hours here. I'm going to do int, and then I'm going to do spot hidden. So let's do int first. So I'm rolling, trying to get under 70. I rolled a 24, so that's successful. So I go to 32. In rifling through Glier's notes and letters, you find a portion of manuscript. The Great Upheaval Myths Correlated with Climactic Change by T. Glier. Skimming, you see a bizarre collection of tales mentioning nearly every rumored land from Atlantis to Mu. Many stories you do not recognize at all. Apparently, Glier sought historical and physical evidence for these sunken and frozen legends of lands. He seems to have found common dates for the devastation myths found in nearly every culture. Interesting. If you can make a successful spot hidden roll, go to 53. If you fail, go to 150. All right, so I was going to do spot hidden anyway, so I might as well go ahead and do that. So my spot hidden is 55. Feeling lucky so far. Oh, all right. Unfortunate. I rolled a 93. So that's a no for me. So let's go back to 150. I have cryptography. I feel like I have to use it just because I have it. And it's so perfect. All right. But I need to roll under a 20, which is going to be pretty hard to do. So let's see what happens here. Yeah, no luck. I rolled a 60. So, okay. All right, so I've spent 2 hours here. I think that's a good enough amount of time. Let me just note down what I did here. So talk to Dean. And then I went to the library. For books on Greece. And then I went to the Harding House. Okay. Finished, you may try a stealth roll to sneak out, no matter what the hour. If you fail, go to 51. If you succeed, go to any Arkham location. Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, I don't have a stealth skill. I just have the base skill, so I'll roll a 20. Roll under 20. Okay, I rolled a 42, which is a failure. 51. What the hell? Suddenly, Mrs. Harding appears. Why the idea, she sputters. I'll count to 3, she says, her grip tightening on the shotgun. She's pointing in your general direction. And then I'll pull the trigger. 1, 2. You quickly decide to leave. All right. I thought she let me in, but all right, let me go to any Arkham location here. So what else should I do here? I guess I don't really know how much else there is to do. I guess maybe it's worth going to the general store just to kind of stock up before I leave. I don't know when the trains leave though. So, you know, I guess I'll go to the depot and just see what the train schedule looks like, and then I can make a choice from there. So if arriving at Arkham, go to any Arkham location. If heading to Boston, trains leave at 9 a.m., noon, and 5 p.m. The trip takes an hour. You may wait for your train or go to any other Arkham location. Okay, so I think it's probably like around 1 p.m. at this point, so I do have a little bit of time. So I guess I'll just take the late train at 5 p.m. and that'll give me a chance to kind of check some other stuff out before I leave and get ready. So, all right, I'm gonna do what I said earlier, and I'm gonna go to the general store at 38 and try to stock up on stuff a little bit. So this retailer accepts currency from any country. You can buy most any item. You can buy hand-to-hand weapons or a handgun, then go to any location on the appropriate table. Okay. So what would I want for a trip to Greece? Okay, so I think if I'm traveling to Greece, I think I'll probably just get some stuff that might come in handy just for like a casual trip here. So why don't we say that I got, let's say that I'm getting an electric torch. So that's $2.40, and I will add that to my inventory. I don't really know what else Gruenwald would bring with him. I think he would have the clothing that he needed. He would probably pack like some shorts and maybe a, you know, like a button-up short sleeve shirt or something like that. And I think maybe he would bring a magnifying glass too. So I'll go ahead and buy a magnifying glass. So magnifying glasses cost $168. And I think finally maybe he would just bring not like a knife for fighting, but just kind of like a pocket knife. Pocket knives cost $1.20. And I guess technically that is a weapon, so I should add it to my weapons, although it probably isn't going to be that useful. So we'll say that that's a knife, comma, small. That's 1d4 points of damage. I'll just put that here. Better than nothing, you know? What else? I guess I could go to... I don't really know where else to go. I think I'm just going to go to the train depot and take my 5 o'clock train. So the trip takes an hour. So if I leave at 5 p.m., that means I'll get there at 6. And I'll take the, so I'll take the 5 p.m. train to Boston. I'll get there at 6. Okay, so let's go to Boston. 64. The Boston Railway Station. There's 2 trains to take to New York City's Grand Central Station. One leaves at 10 a.m. and arrives at 5 p.m. The other leaves at 4 p.m. and arrives at 10 p.m. Go to 146 upon arrival in New York City. Okay, so because I got here at 6, that's unfortunate. So I guess that means that I'm stuck in Boston for the night. Should you miss the train, you have friends in Boston who will gladly pick you up and put you up for the night for free. You can then catch your train in the morning. Okay, all right, so that's what it is. I guess I just have to call a friend and get them to pick me up, and I will spend the night in Boston. So, okay, that's the end of my day. So I stay with friend in Boston's on September 2nd. I will wake up on September 3rd in Boston and take the train. Okay, so so I will take my 10 a.m. train. Wow, that's a long ride. Okay, so I'll take my 10 a.m. train and I will arrive at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. rather. So I arrive in New York City at 5 p.m. Go to 146 here. All right, Grand Central Station. If arriving in New York City, go to the New York location table. If departing for Boston, there's 2 departures for Boston every day. Okay, so I need to go to the New York location table. Wow, lots of stuff to do here. Okay, so there's Cunard Lines, Pier 56. I'm guessing that's the boat that's going to take me over to Greece. There's the rail station and restaurant. There's the General Merchandise Emporium. A bookseller. Ooh, I like booksellers. There's the Greek consulate. There's Holt's apartment. Oh, that's not for me. And then the New York Public Library, a newspaper, and then street vendors and taxis. So I guess I'll grab some food from the restaurant here. So I'll go to 146. Oh yeah, okay. So it's the same thing where I just was. Alrighty. I'm not going to count food costs. I feel like that's more effort than it's worth. Okay. All right, so we'll say that I get like a very late lunch at 4 p.m. and then I have the rest of the day to myself. So that means that unfortunately it looks like the bank is closed. The newspaper is just about to close. Oh, sorry, this is the wrong thing. So yeah, okay, actually, okay, yeah, well, it's New York City, so I guess stuff's open, huh? Okay, that's good. I'm gonna go to the bookseller, page 54, or number 54. 3 floors of books. Some titles interest you. Harrison's English Greek phrasebook, English Arabic phrasebook, English German phrasebook, Cherry Girard's The Worst Journey in the World, Douglas Planchen's With Lake in the Antarctic, and Planchen's Guide to South America. Interesting. I have room in my suitcase for no more than 3. Yeah, so I'll take the English Greek phrasebook. That sounds like it'll be very useful. What are the other ones that sound interesting to me? I guess I could take... I don't really need an English Arabic phrasebook, and I don't need an English German phrasebook because German is my natural language. So this one sounds interesting. With Lake in the Antarctic. I'm going to take that because that sounds interesting. And I guess The Worst Journey in the World sounds fitting for what I'm about to do. Right? All right. So at this point, it's probably like 5 p.m., 6 p.m. or so. Yeah, I guess I'll go to the Greek consulate just before it closes. Just see if I can ask anything. Okay, concerning Greek criminal matters, they advise visiting the Athens Bureau of Investigation on arrival. A Corporal Ilionis, yes, that's the one that I heard about before, they say has handled the Gliar case. You ask for information about the National Museum and its treasures, but they have only an unhelpful travel brochure. They jokingly caution you about the cab drivers of Athens. You may go to any New York location. Okay. I wonder if there's anything else interesting I can do tonight before I go to sleep. I guess I could go to the library. Well, I guess I should go to the Cunard Lines station and see when the ferry when the boat leaves. So 104. The representative informs you that a liner departs each Saturday at noon, reaching Athens at noon 9 days later and Alexandria at 1 p.m. 1 day later. Tickets are available and include all meals. Upon departure, go to 187. All right. So I forgot what day of the week it is. I should look that up. September 3rd is a Thursday. So September 3rd is a Thursday, and that means the liner doesn't depart until Saturday at noon. So I have tomorrow to kill until I can get on the boat. Interesting. So what should I do? So I guess if there's really not much I can do, I might as well just get a hotel, and maybe I'll spend tomorrow at the New York Public Library. So let's do that. Yeah, I'll go get a hotel with room service, 583. What a find! This hotel is cheap, roomy, warm, spacious, comfortable, and clean. Go to any New York location in the morning. Cool. All right. So yeah, I'll spend the night in the hotel. And I will get up in the morning. All right. So I am looking forward to spending today. So I have a whole day to myself in New York City before I have to get on. So what I can do is I can go to the library, which I'm very excited about. So let's do that. Well, I guess I could let me get a paper in the morning before I do that, before I go to the library. So let's see, 86. New York Sun. The oft-delayed Starkweather Moor expedition to the Antarctic nears completion, with a late December departure now virtually certain. Bremenhaven, Germany will be the expedition's jumping-off point and its last European port of call. An American professor, Dr. Tibor Glier of Miskatonic University, has been arrested for the alleged theft of an antiquity. Miskatonic's Dean Wilcox reports that a colleague, Professor Louis Gruenwald, has gone to Athens to investigate the matter for the university. Oh man, I'm in the paper. Okay. All right. Well, now we know. So he was arrested for stealing an antiquity. That's very interesting. It is after September 8th, go to 95. Otherwise, go to any New York location. It is not after September 8th. So, okay. All right. Well, I got my paper. A little bit concerning seeing my name in the paper. I'm not the kind of person who really is particularly fond of the spotlight, but okay. Good to know that that's happening. So let's go to the library. Let's go to the New York Public Library, 74. While not allowing browsers, the helpful librarians provide a selection of books on a topic. They're busy and understaffed, so only 2 topics may be researched per visit. You may go to another location and then return here in the same day. No rolls are needed for these books. It takes 2 hours to study each topic. Okay, very good to know. So, yeah, I think after reading the paper, archaeology is suddenly going to become pretty interesting to me. So let's go to 116. It is suggested that the Carpathos device found in 1900 is in fact of Egyptian origin or design, but was for some reason stolen. In fact, some scholars have argued that it is one of the wonder devices of the Aten pyramids. If you can make a successful history or hard no roll, go to 110. If you fail, go to 74. All right, let's check out my skills here. So, so it's history or hard no. So my history skill is... I have nothing in history. I have a 5 in history. So that's gonna be a no roll for me, bro. But it's gonna be a hard one. So I have to get 46 or under. Let's see what happens. I rolled a 48. So I just missed it. That's unfortunate. Just by 2. I guess I could spend, you know what? You know, we're doing it live. I'm gonna spend 2 luck points. I'm gonna go down to 33 so that I succeed. 110. Some of the wonderful devices were said to open secret chambers or panels in the tombs. These chambers were thought to be in places that looked like solid rock. No intact device has been found, though, nor have any such chambers been discovered. Go to 74. Okay. Interesting. So we know a little bit about the Carpathos device now. It doesn't sound like we know much, but we know that it's stolen. It was found in 1900 and it's Egyptian, which is interesting. So maybe that's what I'll research next. I was going to research Greece, but maybe I'll research Egyptology a little bit. So let's go to 85. See if I can find any more info. Egypt today is an engaging mixture of ancient and modern. Camels and marketplaces are side by side with motor cars and luxurious hotels. Religions of various kinds play a special role in Egypt, some of them of a most unusual nature. It is best, for example, to avoid the cult of Aten, a mysterious and perhaps dangerous group found in the major cities of Cairo and Alexandria. With a successful library use roll, go to 161. Otherwise, go to 74. That's interesting. So Aten is a name that we've heard before, right? That's the name that was associated with the Carpathos device. All right, so let's make that library use roll. So hopefully I'll succeed on this one for once, because I have a pretty dang good library skill. All right, I rolled a 13. So that is a critical success, or extreme success rather. All right, 161. You get specific directions to the Fuzira marketplace. 2 alternate names for the marketplace run through your mind. The place where anything can be lost or gained, and the place where souls are bartered. You idly thumb through the volume. You think you would like to go to Egypt. Go to 74. Interesting. Okay, so I feel like it's worth writing a little bit of this stuff down. I got the paper and I saw my name, and then I went to the library, to the New York Public Library, and I researched the Carpathos device and the Cult of Aten, and this Fuzira marketplace as well. Those all sound very interesting. Okay, so I've spent 4 hours in the library, and I'm not allowed to be there anymore because I can only do 2 things at a time. So I guess I will leave the library, since they're not willing to help me anymore, and see what else I can do here. So I got the paper, went to there. Yeah, I don't know. There's not a whole lot I can really like do at this point because I've been to the consulate as well. I guess I can go shopping, but I have a feeling it's just going to be like the same thing. I can just buy whatever I want. There isn't really anything else I want. Yeah, this is just a regular retail store. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I think Professor Gruenwald's going to go to the retail store. He's not really going to find anything that's useful for him. He's going to like, you know, do some browsing, but then I think he's going to just head back to the library because he doesn't really know what else to do to kill the time. All right, so let's go back to the New York Public Library. So I'm guessing at this point it's probably around, I don't know, like, so I guess I spent the morning in the library, right? So I spent like 9 p.m. until 1 p.m. in the library, and then I guess I went to the store for like an hour. So maybe it's like 3 p.m. So I can probably research, yeah, I could probably research for another 4 hours. Because if it's like, yeah, if it's like 1 or 2 p.m., I can research until 6. Yeah, I think Gruenwald's interest has very much been piqued by this concept of the marketplace where souls can be bartered. I'm going to thumb through some books on the occult. 41. Attempt the appropriate language roll for each of the following books. For each successful roll, spend 2 hours and go to the pertinent entry. Okay. Naturally, I'm going to read the German book first. So my German skill is 90. Pretty hard to succeed there, but let's go ahead and roll for it. All right, 39. So I will go to 62. The ancient myths refer to Götterdämmerung, the fall of the gods. Inexplicably, almost all of these northern myths say that the climate became colder after that fall. With a successful luck roll, go to 117. If failed, go to 74. Okay. So my luck isn't great. I think it's at like 33. Let's see what happens here. Hey, I rolled a 28. Excellent. So let's go to 117. There's an etching of a supposedly enchanted symbol. See image, page 27. You think the drawing is important, and you copy it down. You can look over the other books, go to 41, or return to the New York Public Library, go to 74. Okay. Yeah. Oh, bummer. That one's not a link. Oh, it's this here. Interesting. Okay, so it's a triangle. It looks like a pyramid actually, and it's got kind of like a squiggly line going through it. Looks like a tunnel almost or something like that. Except for, it looks like on this side, on the left side, there's almost a gap in this side of the pyramid, which is pretty interesting. The enchanted symbol. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah. So let's look over one more book from the occult section. So we've got Latin, we've got English, and we've got French. So I don't speak French. I do speak Latin, and I do speak English. Could go for the 45 on Latin, or I could go for the 60 on English. Liber Ivonus. Yeah, let's go for the sure thing and do English. Okay. So we got to roll a 60. Okay, well, I rolled an 85, so that's a failure. Okay, all right. So at this point, it's probably like 6 p.m. And I think I'm done with the library. So I will go back to the library. And that's it for me. Oh, interesting. There's other topics. Okay. All right. Well, I'm done with the library. It's getting late. I'm going to go to any New York location. I think I'm going to grab myself a bite to eat. Might get some falafel on the street. So let me go to 586. Small fast food stands occur in every city. Hot dogs, falafel, and so on. Yeah, I want falafel. Then roll 1d10. If the roll is a 10, go to entry 12. Okay. All right, so I'm eating my falafel, and I'm rolling my d10. I rolled a 9, so I guess that's it. So that's it. So I will hit the back button since I didn't roll a 10. And I think that's kind of the end of the day for me. So I'm going to go to the hotel and just call it a night and then get up for my boat the next day. All right. So again, yeah, what to find? This hotel's cheap, roomy, warm, spacious, comfortable, and clean. Go to any New York location in the morning. So I'll get a nice rest, and I think I'm just gonna head straight to Cunard Lines and get on the boat. $104 for Cunard Lines. Tickets are available and include all meals. That's good. Okay, so all right, let me just quickly note down what I did. Got on the Cunard Lines boat at noon. Excellent. Upon departure, go to 187. Okay, here we go. So the Cunard liners are truly luxurious, with spacious rooms in nearly every class, remarkable recreation facilities, and superb cuisine. While you're aboard the liner, suspend hourly record keeping, but keep track of days. Resume hourly record keeping when you disembark at Athens. Starting Sunday morning, select 3 ship activities, 1 for AM, 1 for PM, and 1 for night, each day for the days specified below. Okay, when the day arrives, go to the specified entry number and follow that entry to its conclusion if the activity you selected matches an activity there, both in topic and in time. Fantastic. Okay. So I think this feels like a good place to stop. I'm going to go ahead and pick all my activities off camera, and we will pick up with my boat ride in the next session.